So I checked out Gladiator 2. And you know what? I'm happy that I did. I have so much positive to say about this film. I cannot wait to tell y'all. What's going on, my beautiful geek culture? As always, I'm your boy O, and today it is time for another movie review as I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I felt about Gladiator 2, a 24-year-old sequel. And I'm also going to tell you guys who I believe, or should I say, I know, absolutely stole the show. But before I do so, do your boy O one major favor. Please hit that subscribe button. And if y'all gonna hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that notification bell because YouTube absolutely sucks at notifying subscribers that content creators has uploaded videos to their platform. And don't forget to hit that like button to help me out with that algorithm, baby. Now let's get into today's review. First, let me give you guys the synopsis. Years after witnessing the death of Maximus at the hands of his uncle, Lucius must enter the Colosseum after the powerful emperors of Rome conquer his home. With rage in his heart and the future of the empire at stake, he looks to the past to find the strength and honor needed to return the glory of Rome to its people. That's right, baby. That is the synopsis. As you know, that is very much the same plot as the first Gladiator film, with a little bit difference, right? That's all. But there's so much that you can do with a story set in ancient Rome, right? It's going to be about the Colosseum. It's going to be about somebody trying to kill an emperor. As you know, a lot of those emperors did not get to see an old age. Let's just say that, right? So it's pretty much the same plot as Gladiator 1. And I know some folks may have some concern about it feeling redundant, right? Like, oh man, it's the same film. But I'm here to tell you, no, the hell it's not. It is not the same film at all. In fact, there's a lot of different things going on here, right? Like the fights in the Colosseum, right? The previous fights in the Colosseum on Gladiator 1, they were a little bit more grounded, right? You fought tigers, you know what I'm saying? You fought people. But in Gladiator 2, they're fighting rhinos. They're fighting on top of water while killer sharks are swimming beneath them. Like, yes, it's the same concept, but it is executed entirely different, right? At least in my opinion. Now, as for the pacing is amazing. Scenes were flying past, and I was saying to myself, like, man, the transition from scene to scene is just so fluid, right? It's like Hollywood needs to take a look at this film and understand exactly how editing is supposed to work, right? Action. As I told you before, the action was absolutely off the chain, ladies and gentlemen. I was captivated, right? Like for real. I was like, oh my goodness, that looks so fantastic. Like, where have this been all of this time? And I'm talking about from that of Hollywood. Don't get me wrong. We have had some great films this year released in the movie theaters, right? Dune 2 is one of them, right? And I would say Dune 2 is on par in regards to storytelling, just like that of Gladiator 2. But many films that are released today does not have the same care, and not to mention the same attention to detail as Dune and Gladiator 2, right? I mean, the whole job of getting this done looks like it was tough for someone like me and you. But really, Scott made this look easy. Like, for real, man. It was absolutely fantastic. And talk about the acting here. The acting. Everybody, and I mean everybody, does a great job. What's this guy's name who plays as Lucius? Lucius. I think that's how you say his name. I don't even know what else he played in. His name is Paul Mescal. Let's see what's in his filmography, right? I'm really not familiar with him, but this guy, he was top tier. Pedro Pascal, absolutely awesome. Now, Mescal played on All of Us, After Sun, Foe. So he doesn't really have much work. But I swear to you, man, this man acted like a professional. Like for real. I mean, when it comes down to what he brought to the table, he made me want to see more of him. Let's just say that. Who else we got in this thing, man, as far as acting goes? Joseph Quinn, who plays as one of the emperors, did a fantastic job. Connie Nielsen, she did wonderful. As you know, she was the love interest of Maximus in the first film. Fred Hengischer, I believe that's his name. He did a wonderful job as well as the other emperor. And we also have Peter Mensah in this. That's the guy who was on 300, who Leonidas kicked into the hole. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Everybody did a great job in this film. Which brings me to the show stealer, Denzel. Denzel plays Macronis. I believe that's how you say his name. Macronis. That's how you say his name. And this man, I mean, he was easily the best thing about the movie. I ain't kidding you. Don't get me wrong. Paul Mescal and Pedro and everybody else did a wonderful job. But Denzel was God tier. The moment that he walked into the scene, right? He walked into this room. I saw everybody's face light up. Everybody had a smile on their face the moment that Denzel Macronis walked into that room, right? And from that moment on, it was all about him. Yeah, the story is about somebody else, right? But while you're watching the film, and every time Denzel wasn't on the screen, you was wondering what his character was up to. He was so nefarious, man. He was so vicious. Not to mention his backstory and the twist regarding who he actually is. Fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic. Ridley Scott cooked with this movie, man. I highly recommend it, ladies and gentlemen. If I was to grade Gladiator 2, it would be an 11 out of 10. That's right. Denzel easily brings it up an extra notch, right? That man, at least in my opinion, deserves an Oscar for the work that he has done in that of Gladiator 2. It ain't even up for debate, right? I mean, you have witnessed all of these other characters all through the year, right? But none of them, and I mean none of them, managed to send chills up your spine as much as Denzel Washington managed to do playing that of Macronis. Macronis. I think that's how you say that. Look, you have to excuse me, man. I know a little bit about Roman mythology, but not a lot, right? A lot of their names are not typical names that I say on a regular basis, but I'm going to get that name correct because I know for a fact that he may very well win some awards regarding this role, man. I mean, it was fantastic. My wife loved it. Everybody in the movie theater loved it. In fact, my entire movie theater stood up and started clapping. It was like, and they had a few people to the right of me over there. I heard them chant Denzel, Denzel, Denzel. Yeah, man, it was that serious. Everybody enjoyed this movie. While walking out the movie theater, I heard a couple of guys say, look, we have to go see that again, right? And I was feeling the same way, but my wife was like, look, we have to go see Wicked. I'm like, all right, yeah, you right. Maybe I would catch that of Gladiator 2 again on Discount Tuesday, but for right now, I'm going to recommend it. It's easily one of my favorite movies of 2024. Don't get me wrong. Dune Part 2 is my absolute favorite, right? At least films that was released in the movie theaters. And then if you're going to go about all films, then that would be Rebel Moon Part 2, the extended cut, and Part 1, the extended cut. Those films absolutely knocked it out of the park for me. But as far as the films released in theaters, it goes Dune, Gladiator 2. That's right. I can watch both of them back to back and be highly satisfied.